Namaste students, my name is Javins Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jayati Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today we are going to discuss session and the name of session is types of gasifiers. What is the gasifiers and its types? So this belong to the subject renewable energy and green technology. So let's start. So gasification, what is gasification? It is the process of converting the solid biomass with a limited quantity of air into producer gas. Okay, so this is the known as the gasification. Now gasifier. So gasification of wood and other agricultural cellulosic residues was a common practice at the beginning of this century to produce low calorie fuel gas. And gasifiers can be suitably used for thermal decomposition of a wide range of feed materials, from forestry products or agriculture products and aquatic biomass to municipal solid waste. So, however, some important points which should be taken into consideration while undertaking any biomass gasification system. First, a gasifier itself is of little use, so it is used either to generate a combustible gas to provide heat, to generate a fuel gas which can be used in an internal combustion engine as a petroleum oil uh, petroleum oil substitute. So some of gaseous, liquid and solid products of combustion are not only harmful to engine uh, but uh, also to human beings. So that is why these gases are not used as a cooking gas. Okay, so a gasifier must have an effective gas cleaning train if the gas is to be used for internal combustion engines. So a maximum limit of 5 to 15 mg solids and tar per kg of gas may be allowed for the use of the gas in an internal combustion engine. A gasification system may not be of much advantage to generate a combustible gas as far as fossil fuels saving economies and ease of operation and concern. So the raw material which is required, so the biomass including the agricultural residues and other common solid waste used for gasification. Okay, so we have to process the raw materials before starting. So how to process and what is the processing of raw material for the gasification? So processing of some agriculture and forestry products and other solid waste is essentially required for making them acceptable for gasification. Some of the common processing operations we are discussing here. So first, for agriculture products and residues, chipping, drying, densifying operations are carried out. For if you talk about the forestry products, then hogging, chipping, drying, and densifying operations are being followed. And for if we are using the municipal waste or municipal solid waste, that is MSW. MSW is municipal solid waste. So for MSW, size reduction of MSW is done by one or more stage shredding only. The ferromagnetic and non-ferrous metals are separated by magnetic separation and by any other equivalent device. Okay, so the glass pieces are removed by air classification, uh, tremelling, and the screening. So the advantages of the processing, what are the advantages of processing? And what are the disadvantages of processing. So first advantage is storage and handling of feedstock are made easier. Okay. Then second is uniform distribution of the pre-processed feedstock in the gasifier. Third is the channeling action in the flow path is prevented. Fourth, the gasifier top sealing device can be operated without any accident. Then next advantage is uniform gas quality is obtained, and the next advantage is the steady rate of production of ash and char is possible. So these was the advantages of the processing of raw material. And then disadvantages are the additional capital investment for the processing equipment is necessary. Okay, you have to pay more for the an additional step of processing, pre-processing. Then both operational and maintenance costs are involved, and total pre-processing cost may be high. So these were the disadvantages of the pre-processing of the gasification. Okay, so now talk about the types of gasifier. What are the types of gasifier? Okay, so gasifiers are generally classified on the basis of the physical conditions of the feedstock in the reactors. So the gasifiers may be grouped into the two types. One is the fixed bed gasifier, and next one is the fluidized bed gasifier. Okay, fixed bed gasifiers and fluidized bed gasifier. So what is the fixed bed gasifier and what is the fluidized bed gasifier? So first, fixed bed gasifier is generally a vertical reactor. You can say a reactor or the furnace. So it is a vertical reactor. The gasifier is fed either from the top or from the side at a certain height. Okay, either from the top or the from the side of at a certain height. So inside the gasifier, the feedstock is supported either on a fixed grade or on a sand bottom. Okay, so the fixed bed gasifiers may further divided into the updraft, downdraft, and cross draft or cross flow units. Okay, so these were the again they are the uh, types of the fixed bed gasifier. So first is the updraft gasifier. So in an updraft gasifier, the feed materials descend from the top of the uh, uh, from from the top to the bottom, and the air ascends from the bottom to top. So while air is being blown upward through the grate, so that's why it is known as the updraft gasifier. Okay, because you feed the material from the top side, updraft. So in the updraft, the oxidation zone lies at its bottom, and gasification occurs through zones of decreasing temperatures as the gas rises through the reactor fuel bed. So as the reaction gases flow counter to the path of the incoming cool feedstock and exit at the relatively low temperature. The fuel gas produced by an updraft gasifier has high tar content, and the height to diameter ratio is usually kept at 3:1. So this was about the updraft gasifier. So next is the downdraft gasifier. So the downdraft gasifier, it is again a vertical cylindrical vessel or verifying cross section. So the biomass is fed at the top at regular intervals uh, of time and is converted through the a series of processes into producer gas and ash as it moves down. So the first zone is the drying zone, in which the moisture content in the upper layers of the biomass is removed by evaporation. The temperature in this zone is about 120 degrees Celsius. This temperature is acquired by heat transfer from the lower zones, which are as much higher temperatures. So the dried biomass moves down to the second zone called the pyrolysis zone, which is at temperatures ranging from the 200 to 600 degrees Celsius from top to bottom. So throughout this zone, the biomass loses its volatiles. In addition, in the lower part of this zone, when the temperature reaches 400 degrees Celsius, an exothermic reaction takes place in which the structure of biomass breaks down, and as a result, water vapors, methanol, acetic acid, and significant amounts of hydrocarbon tar evolve. So the remaining solid is called char, or you can say the carbon. So the third zone is called as the oxidation or the combustion zone. A predetermined quantity of air is drawn into this zone through nozzles and temperatures. Uh, in this zone, a portion of char and pyrolyzed gases coming from the second zone are burned. The principal reactions are exothermic and oxidizing in nature, and the resultant products are carbon dioxide and water vapor. Okay, so these products pass on to the fourth and last zone called the reduction zone. So along with unburned pyrolysis gases and char, this zone is at temperatures ranging from 900 to 600 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature being near the oxidation zone, and these reactions are endothermic, and consequently the temperatures of the zone progressively decrease. At the end, the char is fully consumed and the final product are producer gases and ash. So the volumetric composition of biomass based producer gas is carbon monoxide around 20 to 22%. Hydrogen is around 15 to 18%. Methane is around 2 to 4%. Carbon dioxide 9 to 11%. Nitrogen 50 to 54%. So the gas also contains measurable amount of particulate material and tar. The heating value of the producer gas ranges from 4,000 to 5,000 kilojoule per meter cube. Okay. So next one is the closed draft gasifier. Closed draft gasifier. So in the closed draft gasifier, air is fed into the gasifier through a horizontal nozzle. That's why it is known as the closed draft. So the resulting fuel gas is discharged through a vertical grade on the opposite side of the air injection location. So the biomass can be fed to the gasifier either from the top or from the side. So the reactions in the closed draft gasifier are similar to the downdraft gasifier. Okay. Now, second one is we discussed was the fluidized base gasifier. So what is that? So in general, the fluidized bed gasifier is a tall refractory lined unit, and inert materials like sand or ash may be used as a fluidizing medium. At the bottom of the reactor, sand or other inert materials is supported on a perforated plate with a grid network, so which ensures uniform distribution of the fluidizing medium. Fluidization of the sand is achieved by supplying a controlled flow of air or oxygen at a fluidization velocity through the perforated supporting plate. So as a result, the whole bed, including sand, will be kept in suspension and separated. In a fluidized bed reactor, the temperature is typically uniform throughout the bed. The simultaneous oxidation and gasification occurs rapidly at constant fluidized bed medium because of the high turbulence, and through thorough mixing of the fluidized bed, its capacity is generally dependent upon the volume of the fluid bed. Generally, the height to diameter ratio of a fluidized base reactor is 10 to 1, 10 is to 1. So the bed temperature should be uh, lower than 1100 to 1150 degrees Celsius in order to prevent the slagging of the residues, but it should be higher than 850 degrees Celsius to promote the partial oxidation of the feed material. The output biomass gasifiers can be used for a variety of direct thermal applications, such as the cooking, drying, heating water, generating steam, and it can also be used as a fuel for IC engines to obtain the mechanical shaft power or electrical power. So if the producer gas is used in the IC engines, it has to be cleaned for complete removal of particulate material and tar. So the conversion efficiency of a gasifier is defined as the ratio of the heat content in the producer gas to the heat content in the biomass supplied, and it is usually around 75 degree, 75 percent. So that was about the gasifiers, and hope you are satisfied with this digital session. If you have any query, please write in the comment box. And this session is powered by Digital Version 2, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.